Neville Maskelyne believed absolutely in the lunar distance method. As Astronomer Royal, he insisted it was the only practical solution to the longitude problem. He thought ticking things in boxes were untrustworthy and pocket watches that solved mathematical and astronomical problems unbelievable. Even though H4 had passed the new tests with flying colors, Maskelyne called John Harrison a mere mechanic. He would have moved the H4 and Harrison's other timepieces to the Royal Observatory at Greenwich. There he would test them himself. It must have been painful for John Harrison to watch Neville Maskelyne cart away the clocks that had ticked quietly in his workshop for 30 years. He returned to his private room, only to suddenly hear a terrible crash. Each one lay shattered. One of Maskelyne's workers had dropped it. Under Maskelyne's critical eyes, H4, which had gone through 2 sea voyages while losing less than 2 minutes, failed its tests miserably. But the testing conditions were far from ideal. Not only was H4 housed in direct sunlight, where it endured stifling heat, it was monitored by elderly retired seamen who were so feeble they could barely climb the hill to the Royal Observatory. Maskelyne announced to the world that the watch could not be trusted. So the board ordered John Harrison to make yet another timepiece. The Clockmaker and the King. H5 was very plain. There were no leaves or flowers on its dial, as there had been with H4. Nearing his 79th birthday, perhaps John Harrison felt he did not have the time for such decorations. His eyesight was failing. He was bothered by gout. The clock met every single requirement of the Longitude Act, but still the board would not give him the prize. How much time did such an old man have left? There was only one thing to do: petition the king. H5, similar to H4, but without decorations. Completed in 1772. Harrison, age 79. So he did. In January 1772, his son William presented their case to King George III. "These people have been cruelly treated," the king reportedly whispered after William finished recounting their history. Then he is said to have exclaimed, "Harrison, I will see you righted." A trial was arranged for H5 in the king's quarters. At first the watch behaved strangely. Then it was discovered that in a nearby closet there were magnetic rocks called lodestones. These affected the metallic parts of the clock. As soon as the lodestones were removed, H5 performed perfectly. Finally, on June 21st, 1773, an Act of Parliament awarded John Harrison the remaining prize money he deserved. Even so, the Board of Longitude still refused to name him as the official prize winner. In fact, the long sought-after Longitude Prize was never officially awarded to anyone.